It just got done pouring down rain. Wasn't supposed to rain today. So it's been kind of weird. And you say, what is all this stuff going on? What is this? And we get a lot of stuff going on. We are in the process. Oh, hi, ducks. We are in the process of building our first greenhouse. You excited?
Oh yeah. I've wanted this since we moved in here.
You want to tell us a little bit about it?
A little bit of the design from Heirloom Permaculture's build, and I took a little bit of design from the Stivers build. Kind of came up with my own. Used the best of each one that I liked, and it's going to be. We were blessed to have free lumber that was. We had like 20-foot long 2x12s that we didn't pay a dime for, so I was able to cut them to the exact length of 4 cattle panels, so we didn't have to trim the cattle panels or overlap them or anything. So it's going to be a little bit over 16 foot long and 8 foot wide. We're using the screen door that I replaced for your mother. And another thing that I did, most people only put 1 window in. We had several windows. I'm going to put 2 windows in the back just to let in, you know, more light instead of having wood up halfway up the wall or something. And we'll be able to open both of them. Be a double vent in the back for letting the hot air out when it gets too hot. But I'm pretty excited to get this thing put together tomorrow. We have some friends coming over. We're gonna put all the puzzle pieces together and see what we got. Hey everybody, it's the end of the day here. We got about 95% done. Give you a little walkthrough and tell you some of the materials I used and some of the details. Alright, first I got a recycled screen door from, I replaced one next door for my mother-in-law, and I saved it. I said I'll use that for something. I'm going to put plastic on that to seal that up. I'm not sure if I'm going to get ambitious and try to pull the rope from the screen and try to use the rope to hold the new plastic in. Haven't quite decided if I'm going to give that a go yet or not, but the base is 2x12s. I'm going to put some treated pieces of 2x4 around, and they're about, I think they're like an inch, or yeah, about an inch longer than the 2x12s, just to kind of keep the pressure off of them, keep them up off the ground, just a hair, little airflow underneath of those, because the 2x12s are not treated. I just painted them with exterior paint. I still have to finish painting the end pieces. I got in a bit of a rush. Went ahead and cased it all the way around with a 2x12. This thing's pretty heavy. And we did a double window in the back. Both of those will open for get some real good airflow through there. I have never seen two put in one before, so I figured why not? We'll give it a shot. And used this stuff here is just your foam pipe insulation. You put that around the ends so it's not sharp to rip your plastic. The plastic I got off Amazon. It came from like a place called Farmer's Supply, I think. It was a 20 by 40 piece sheet of plastic, the 6 mil. It's got a 4-year warranty on it. It's UV rated. I still have to trim the plastic off the bottom here. I just was leaving a little extra until I got everything screwed in nice and tight and seeing what this thing was going to do with the temperature changes and everything. But I put quite a few screws to make sure that baby's clamped on there really tight. But I like the way I did this. I'll show you in the front here. So this same pipe insulation, furring strips around everything to hold the plastic on. And here's what I did a little different than I saw in a lot of the other videos. I took my router and I made me a ledge right here for this to set on. It made it easier to put up. I didn't have to use staples. I just used a little bit of little pieces of this metal banding, and all the way down, put 3 per panel to anchor that right onto the sides. I still need to paint in here too. I'm going to go ahead and paint all the 2x12s. The rest of the lumber is all treated, but not the 2x12s because these were free, and that would have cost a fortune to get those treated. Luckily I had really long 2x12s, so I was able to use 4 full cattle panels. I didn't have to trim it or overlap or anything. I was able to use the full 4 panels all the way to the end. And I was one 2x12 shy. That was the full length, so I took and I pieced one together, and it worked out pretty good. From the outside you can't even really hardly tell, but I'm pretty happy with this. We ran 2 2x6s across the top there for support in the wintertime if we get snow on it or anything. We could put hooks up there to put hanging baskets, and I mean, this thing will hold a ton of weight on top of it before we have any issues. I'm still contemplating running cutting some 45s and some 2x4s and running some braces right here, just a little extra support. But this thing's pretty stout as it is now that it's all connected. I mean, it doesn't move too much. We also anchored the cattle panels with a piece of that strapping at both ends. We anchored them down to the 2x6s to just really hold it in place, make it really rigid as possible, and that way it doesn't move around too much in the wind and things. But it worked out pretty well. I'm happy with it, and glad I had some good friends to come up and give me a hand, because I never would have got this far by myself. And I forgot to add, I had one mishap. The drill slipped off the screw head there and poked me a hole right there. But luckily the company sent a patch kit along with it, so I'm going to put a patch on the inside and outside, you know, double them up there. Won't have any troubles with it. But I mean, I knew I was bound to poke at least one hole in this thing putting it together. We got it about 95% completed today with the help of our friends. We want to tell them thank you very much.
Yep.
To you and the boys for coming up and giving us a big helping hand.
Yep. Thanks to Coon's family for coming up and hanging out with us and eating hot dogs and baked potatoes and spending the whole day at the farm.
We can't wait to grow you some tomatoes in here and share the wealth. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.